Okay, we back. It's your boy, it's your author Chris Jackson. Y'all know what it is. Must be me. Get your copy of the book. You need a book. Alright, listen, real life, we in Bible stories, right? You know, I ain't had a chance to ride. My videographer had stuff he had to do. He out of town doing his thing. Cool. We in John chapter 8. So I'm going to go through a little bit to get y'all beginning how this starts off, right? So it's like Jesus went to the Mount of Olives in the early morning. He came to the temple. He talked to people, this and that. So now let's get to the crux of what's going on. It says the scribes and the Pharisees. Now the scribes were the ones who wrote down the laws, who took like the stenographer, basically in the court, more or less. Like the Pharisees are like the judges, those who would think they're mightier than everybody else, or they know this or they know that. So you know, those are the ones who were, you know, they wear the phylacteries, which is a tassel more or less, but it's like a wide banner they wear across, and they would have scriptures written on them to represent who they were, to try to make people so that they're more than what they actually were, right? So it should get understandable. Now it said the scribes and the Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. When they had set her in the midst, they said unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now let's just stop right there for a minute. First and foremost, Jesus just finished. It said Jesus talked to people, which means past tense. He gave them a word. He was breaking it down what God gave him to share with them. Second of all, it says they brought her in the midst. So I guess as they were dispersing, this is just my personal, y'all know how I read the Bible. So as they were dispersed from him teaching them, they brought her in the midst. They put this woman dead center. Like, okay, we got something. We want to see what she gonna say about this. Like, we done got this woman, and she was caught in the act of adultery, physically in the act. They said she was taken in adultery. They said she was caught in the very act. Let's stop there for a minute. For you to catch somebody in the act, so what did y'all just grab him while he was on top of her and like grab her and throw some clothes on her, bring her to Jesus and get caught? Because they said she was caught in the very act. Or did y'all, when y'all seen her, y'all knew what she was doing, y'all seen her doing whatever they was doing, then when you seen her leaving out, y'all grab her like, yeah, we finna go find out because you was taking adultery. This is the part anybody grasped yet. For me personally, when y'all said she was taken in the very act, the commandments also say when they were given the laws of Moses is that both people, that's two. I think that's two. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 2. There's two people, right? So, you were supposed to bring the man and the woman. Me personally, this is how I look at it. When they say she was taken in the very act, and it said, now Moses in the law commanded that such should be stoned, but what sayest thou? So in other words, they call themselves testing Jesus. Now Jesus is pure player. Y'all understand his integrity, his morality is already the same. Y'all make him a little mad, he gonna show you what he do. He gonna get out on you. But this is what they did. They brought the woman. So Jesus is thinking like I'm thinking. Like, okay, you telling me about the law. I gave them to him to write down. So when you came, you should have had him and her. It might have been something different. But since you just brought her, let's see what y'all want to talk about, right? They were like, yeah. So they started pressing him like, well, yeah, you know, Moses said this and that. In the law, you know, they want to test his G. They really shouldn't have pressed him like that because he gonna pull a real smooth player move, which I gotta pay this attention to. So the Pharisees and the scribes, now think about this for a moment. These are a group of men that caught a woman in the act of adultery, physically having sex, or they seen her having sex, but they didn't bring the man that she was having sex with. This is my own personal opinion. The reason they didn't bring the man with her because he was a Pharisee or a scribe. Because the scribes and the Pharisees brought her to him. So it had to be one of their comrades, one of their padres, one of their homeboys was getting down with her. That's just what that's just how I look at it. You know, I'm just being realistic with y'all. I want y'all to really pay attention to what I'm conveying to y'all right now. Because you can't bring one without the other. Because it takes two people to be intimate, right? Don't get me wrong, you can be at home and do stuff for yourself. But intimacy is the bond, and love and sex and all that is two people engaged in this act. So they should have brought the man and the woman. They just brought the woman. So now they want to test him and talking about what you say. So they said this call themselves tempting Jesus, so they have a right to accuse him because they still call themselves truly following the law of Moses. But again, y'all forgot who gave Moses the law. Jesus. You feel what I'm saying? He gave him the law. They don't understand that. Okay. So now they kept pressing him. So Jesus stooped down because he's so smooth. He got on the ground. He started writing with his finger. Now what he wrote, I won't know till I get there because I really want to know what he's writing on the ground. But this is what I think he was doing. When he was sitting on the ground, I believe he was thinking like this. All y'all done brought this woman. One of your homeboys is still at home chilling because you had to know where she was at first and foremost. Two, you had to know who she was with. So I feel like they set her up for failure. They did this to themselves and to her so they could bring it to Jesus to try to test him and let him, see, test his G, as I said. You know what I mean? Try to test his gangster, like what he do and don't know. So this is the thing that really crazy. So they kept pressing like, so what you gonna do? What should we stone her? You gonna help a stoner? What's happening, Jesus? You gonna stone her? You help a stoner? This is the thing anybody paying attention to. So when they continued asking him, he said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him cast the first stone at her. Now, the Bible says, and he again stooped down, got on the ground, and started writing again. He was sitting there writing. Me personally, I don't think he's right. Because he's fully God, fully man, so he knows everything. And the Bible says that said, they, from the greatest to the least, they all started dropping their stones and walking away. This is why they walked away. Because they done been with her too. See, anybody wasn't ready for that. Y'all wasn't ready. What I'm trying to help y'all see is that these same men that want to convict her to test Jesus were the same men having sleeping with her. Because ain't no way you can know where, there's nowhere in the world they would have knew where she was, who she was with, and what was being going on unless they done had appointments with her too. I feel like them same scribes, them same Pharisees, were some of the same dudes that was catching her on the low. That's the reason they didn't press him when he told them, he who was without sin cast the first stone. There wasn't no rocks being thrown. Ain't like thumping no pebbles. Ain't no pitch no pennies. Wasn't none of that going on. They weren't having none of that because, simple fact, they was all in the wrong. Me personally, I feel like they had been with her too. That's why I feel like the very first person who dropped the stone was the first one who kept accusing her to Jesus. Because, like, I'm going to tell you what Griff always told. Griff, that's my mom, what I call her. Griff always said, when he was young, she said, you hit the loudest one in the group first, and everybody else will back down. And it made sense. What Jesus did when he said, he who without sin cast the first stone, he hit the loudest one first. He's the first person, I guarantee it, got convicted that went ahead and said, I was just with her last week. Like, I can't be throwing stones and knowing I was with her. Because if my wife find out, see, that's another thing we ain't thought about either. These are supposed to be men of integrity, men of morality, men of character. So, now, they can't do nothing because y'all want to stone her because her secret dies with her, if y'all do that. But what y'all don't understand is y'all still got to go home and go, first you got to go pray and make amends with God, then you got to go home and rectify stuff at home, because what happened was y'all was messing with her too. Y'all ain't randomly knew this woman was doing what she was doing, her actually was committing. It's like riding down the street, you pick somebody up, you know what kind of people you pick up when you ride down certain streets in certain cities, you know what's there. They was going through there. All of them, I believe, done had a chance that they done picked her up once or twice. You feel what I'm saying? So they figured, we going to get rid of her this way so won't nobody ever know. Well, now that Jesus put it back on them, he stayed on the ground stupid. He steady riding, he chilling. Now, if she's standing there, I guarantee you, she's sitting there in the midst of them, frightened to death, thinking y'all going to take my life. And she's probably thinking, I done been with each and every last one of y'all and your boy. And your boy. You just came and got me from your boy's house. I was just with your boy. And he probably was the top dog. He probably was the leader out of the whole clique of the Pharisees and scribes. So before you know it, bam, everybody gone. Ain't nobody left but the young lady and Jesus. Jesus looked around like, what happened to them cats who was trying to convict you? Where all the baseball players at? Where all the pitchers at? Where all the rocks? What happened to your boy and them? They ain't throwing no rocks now. She was like, they all left, master. He said, well, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more, my child. He already knew what it was. He knew what she done did. He done seen the present, the past, and the future. So he knows what's going on. That's what's so smooth about him, and why I want y'all to see him in this light and understand that he didn't get mad, he didn't get upset, and I'm showing you something that I want y'all to pay attention to. But never once did he judge her or them. Our problem is, as people, we so quick to hear what somebody else says and judge you off of what they stated. Jesus didn't judge her off of what they said. He let them judge themselves. That's why they had to drop them rocks. He let them realize their own convictions. That's why they dropped them rocks. He let them look at their own flaws, their own shortcomings, their own failures. That's why they dropped them rocks. So when he said, y'all don't condemn her, I ain't going to condemn her either. People, think about this for a minute. I know it's a lot of y'all like this. Y'all might not want to admit it. But what I learned is this. Just because your homeboy, your homegirl don't like somebody, that don't mean you don't have to not like them. Because I know people like that. Or they well, so-and-so don't like them because you heard what someone said about them, but you've never had a chance to engage and talk with the person. So Jesus took it upon himself and said, well, you know what? I see what y'all doing. I see what she's doing, but why am I going to judge her? Why am I going to condemn her to death when y'all been doing the same thing? Because basically, y'all all should have got stoned. I should have had a whole new clique with me with rocks to throw at y'all too, because y'all done been with the same woman. Man, look, long story short, the moral of it is, be you. Like I said, the title of the book must be me. Look at you first. Look at you first. Look at you first. Hold yourself accountable when things go wrong, when things don't go right. Don't say, well, had they did had that, because I've been in that platform, y'all. I done accused people and said if they would have done certain things, but what I had to learn was what was my part in it. Jesus let them look at their part in the whole situation. So now that we got to understand it, man, listen, it's always love. It's always peace. It's always good. It's always a pleasure to come before y'all to break down these Bible stories the way he give it to me. But I want y'all to realize, remember this too. Just because of what look at on the outside don't mean it's like that on the inside, okay? Don't judge people. Don't judge a book by its cover. Because I can look at the cover of the book and I can look at the back page. But if I don't turn those pages, I don't really know what's inside. Because this might look good right here, but this might not look that good. Think about it for a minute. But again, hey, it's always love until, hey, what? It must be me. It must be me. It must be me. Hey, listen, go to the Author Chris Jackson YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, notification. Let's get it in. Start ordering your copies, y'all. Y'all know it's always love for sure. Peace.